Hi, I'm Michael Lombardi. I'm the chef partner at SRV at 569 Columbus Avenue. I'm going to make one of our classic dishes found all over Venice in the wine bars called Baccala Mantecato. It is a whipped salt cod. They use dried cod that you could soak for multiple days, changing the water. We make our own salt cod here by buying fresh cod, salting it overnight, and then soaking it for 4 hours the following day. We then poach that cod in milk, which I have going already in this pot right here. It's very simple. Just put the cod in the pot, cover it with cold milk, and bring it all up together until the cod is cooked through and flaky. I have another pot here, and I'm going to start to build the rest of the dish. So this is just some cooking olive oil. I'm going to get that in. And then this is sliced garlic. So it's important that the garlic is all the same size, whether it's super thin or super thick, doesn't really matter. Obviously thinner is a little bit better because it'll cook quicker and probably a little bit more evenly. So I'm just gonna add some of that in. Because we're using salt cod, I'm not gonna add any additional salt. So if I was making another dish right now, I'd probably season in layers the garlic and then the other ingredients that I'm working with. But the salt cod is gonna provide all of the seasoning that we need for this dish. I'll put a little bit more olive oil in. And just get that sweating. In the meantime, while that's working, I'm gonna check on my cod, which is now poached and nice and flaky. I'm gonna take that off the heat. I have this set up to strain it. This dish doesn't take a lot of equipment, but you do need a stand mixer. It's really hard to bring the final consistency, almost probably impossible to bring the final consistency together with just a whisk. So we serve this dish as a cicchetti, which are small bar snacks, and we do it as on a squid ink baguette, because squid ink is another popular ingredient throughout the city of Venice. You don't have to eat it on a squid ink crostini in Venice. Some people do, but most of the Baccari just have it on a piece of crostino, which is a single piece of toast. We've also taken a few liberties to make ours a little bit different. If you were in Venice, they might tell you that it's just salt cod and olive oil and milk, and that's all you need to make this dish. Our addition of garlic, we're gonna use some bread to kind of set the consistency. All those are not really traditional ingredients. So once I poach the cod, I'm gonna set that aside. And then I do need to weigh out the milk, because I am going to need to use some of the milk in the final product. So I'm going to set that aside. My garlic has no color, it's sweating evenly. I have it at a pretty high heat, but that's just because I'm standing over it, so I'm able to keep it from burning. And now I have this bread that's diced up. If you have a bread with like a really strong crust on it, you're gonna wanna cut that off and just be using the inside of the bread. In this situation, we have a really light crust on the outside of the bread, so we're able to use the whole thing. I'm just gonna incorporate the bread with the garlic, and then I'm gonna add my measured out milk. I know I need a little bit more. Now I'm gonna bring this up to a simmer let the bread hydrate and allow it to thicken, similar to you know, like a bread soup. I'm gonna make a couple of quick meat changes. So this is one of the dishes that's been on the menu since we opened the restaurant. It's never going to come off the menu. It's super classic. You can find it, like I said, all over Venice, so we just want to make sure that we stay true to that original vision of being a Venetian kind of wine bar. And so we keep it on the menu all the time. Now, because we're just using the bread for structure, we're actually using gluten-free bread. Don't let it boil over. We're actually using gluten-free bread because we want to be able to make this dish gluten-free for our guests in the restaurant, but that's not a necessity, obviously. Like I said, we do serve it on a crostini, which is not gluten-free, but we could serve it, you know, we can serve it on like a lettuce cup or something different, just to be able to make sure that we can sell this and have a lot of people experience it. So now I'm going to go into my blender. And it's going to get loud for a second, but I'm just going to blend this smooth, covering the hole so it doesn't blow up all over me. Now I have my smooth bread sauce. My cooked cod. And the final step is the whipping part. So I have a paddle attachment here. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to put the cod in the bowl and allow the paddle to break it up into fine pieces, shredding it, very similar to making like a meat rillette in French cooking. It's very important that the fish is cooked through here because you want that flake to work to your advantage so that you can get this as creamy as possible. So now I'm going to bring the bowl up on a low speed. I'm just going to break the fish into really fine pieces, and I know that you can't really see it in there, but the finer it gets, the smoother the texture is going to be at the end, and the happier you're going to be with the final result. And I'm building the speed as I see it breaking up smaller and smaller. I don't need to go super fast, but I do just want to get those flakes as fine as possible. It's not going to be like a puree. And now I'm just going to slowly stream in my milk, bread, and garlic mix. I'm doing all of this hot, which incorporates it very well. But once it's cold, it's gonna be set way more firm. And that's what we're looking for. So now I used olive oil to cook the garlic before. That was just like your generic kind of store-bought jug olive oil, extra virgin still, but maybe a little bit lower quality. And then I'm gonna finish it with a nice oil. This is olio verde. It's Sicilian actually, but it's gonna give this dish a little bit of oil flavor. It's gonna splatter all over the place because you're whipping it up. And that's it. The final consistency right now is somewhat runny, but you can see that it kind of holds itself together. It's gonna set up, as I said, as it cools down, and it's gonna be a nice spread to put right on top of toast. So please come visit us. Like I said, we're at 569 Columbus Avenue, right on the corner of Columbus Ave and Mass Ave. And we're here 5 nights a week right now, Wednesday through Sunday. We're starting brunch. We're doing brunch now for the first time since we closed down, and we're excited to be here and just come by and say hi and eat some of our food. Thank you.